Brought to you by patreon.com/inspireddisorder and inspireddisorder.com/Kindle.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
UFC 253 back on Fight Island. Just happened this past Saturday. Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa for the main event, co-main event. Jan Blachowicz versus Dominic Reyes for the light heavyweight belt. 2 title fights, 2 belts. Fun night of fights overall. Israel Adesanya gets an easy win over Costa. Costa kind of was coasting in the first 2 rounds. I felt like he was trying to pace himself because he was worried he was going to gas out, because that would be one of his kind of things that he has yet to prove, is being able to fight 5 whole rounds, which he didn't get to do this time, but that's what it seemed like he was doing, because he wasn't active, especially as much as Dana White was selling what the action was going to be. But I think that's also Israel Adesanya kind of brings that out of people. Specifically, I mean, Costa, and you saw the same thing with Yoel Romero. Both guys very physically large, like large muscle mass, carrying around a lot of weight, and kind of both guys definitely, I mean, Yoel Romero's kind of figured out how to pace himself as to not gas himself out, and that's what I just thought Paulo Costa was doing. I just felt like they were both kind of fought Izzy the same way, trying to do less, but I mean, he was definitely more active than the Yoel Romero fight, that's for sure. I don't think this was a boring fight. I just think it was a dominant, easy win for Israel Adesanya. I don't think he got hit at all. It was pretty one-sided, and it ended up getting a finish. I didn't think he was going to make it look as easy as he made it look, that's for sure. But I am glad Israel Adesanya got the win. That was one of my picks. I actually did a DraftKings for this fight, and surprisingly almost won $100. I was the top 3 got paid $100. I got 5th place, so I was 2 spots back from winning. And I had picked 2 people that lost. I picked Sijara Eubanks for some reason. She lost to Vieira. Pretty one-sided win for Vieira. Eubanks just looks small. I don't know, that bantamweight. It looks like she's maybe an in-betweener, where she's too small for bantamweight but too big for strawweight. And then I also picked Tukagov for some reason. And Hakeem Dawodu just put it on him. Just made him look, just connected a bunch of times. Tukagov wasn't able to do anything. But those 2 I lost. And if I had just gotten one of those right, I would have won, because I got Izzy was right. I picked Blachowicz to win. He was a huge underdog for some reason. I don't know why. Everybody, just because Dominic Reyes had a close fight with John Jones, and a lot of people say that they thought he won, even though he didn't win. But people in there scored it themselves, thought he beat, and because of that, they think Dominic Reyes is like this great and powerful light heavyweight. And meanwhile, he got to fight John Jones off of beating Chris Weinman. Like a washed-up middleweight, a guy that looks like, even when he ekes out a victory in his actual weight class of middleweight, like he does not look impressive at all. But some reason, Dominic Reyes knocks him out in light heavyweight and gets an immediate title challenge. So people were way too hyped up on Dominic Reyes. Blachowicz has been just dominant in all of his fights. He's got a lot more experience. Reyes his resume isn't as good. Same thing with Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa, aside from him fighting Yoel Romero, doesn't have a very impressive resume as far as people that he's beaten. So I wasn't surprised Costa lost. I was definitely not surprised that Dominic Reyes lost. So Jan Blachowicz is the new light heavyweight champion. I would not mind seeing him fight John Jones. If Jones wants to come back down to light heavyweight, that would be a fun fight. But I'm also just excited to see Blachowicz and see what he can do in that weight class. I mean, it's kind of definitely there was the first fight of the card, Danilo Marquise versus Cottus. I don't know. I don't even know why I would even bother trying to pronounce the names because they should both be cut from the UFC. Probably the most boring fight to start off a pay-per-view card. I mean, it was the early prelims, but just like pathetic. Both of them were like gassed halfway through the first round, and they're light heavyweights. And it's not like they fought in Denver or anything. It's just they I don't know what kind of training they were doing, but cardio didn't seem to be, and it wasn't like they put on an insane pace that would have gassed them out. They were just gassed halfway through. So considering the light heavyweight has people like that in it, it was whatever. And then there was the William Knight fight, which that dude is yoked. Be interesting to see what he can do. But I have a feeling, I mean, he just overpowered. It'd be interesting to see him fight somebody better. I don't think he'll have. I think he's just too big. It's tough for those like really muscle bound guys to get a lot of success. But yeah, Jan Blachowicz, light heavyweight, Israel Adesanya, middleweight. Roy Vel beat Kai Kara France. That was a crazy fight. They got fight of the night. But yeah, overall it was a fun night of fights. Aside from the very first fight that was pretty horrible. Diego Sanchez survived. He looked horrible. That dude has lost like I mean, he just looks flabby. He's got dad bod for days. Looks like he's lost. I don't think he's doing any kind of strength and conditioning programs. He's like, I mean, he has the muscle definition that I do, and he's a survivor. And it's not the most he's been beaten up in a fight, but at no point did he have like, maybe he landed a good punch, but he never really was winning that fight in any sense of the word. So, not looking forward to more Diego Sanchez fights at all. I feel bad for the guy. It seems like all he cares about is recovery. He's not looking to learn any new skills or like, kind of get his body in peak athletic condition. But overall, it was a fun night of fights, and I'm glad Jan Blachowicz got it, and I wish I had made a couple picks differently, and I could have won $100. Anyway, moving on. Next Saturday, it is ESPN, UFC on ESPN, Holm versus Aldana, October 4th, again from Fight Island. Holly Holm is taking Irina Aldana. I'm hoping Aldana wins. If I had to predict what's going to happen in this fight, Holly Holm is going to get in the clinch position. She's going to hold Aldana against the cage for 2 to 3 minutes per round, maybe throwing a knee once every 30 seconds or so, but mostly just pushing her up against the fence, because that seems to be, unless she feels like she has an overwhelming striking advantage, Holly Holm's MO is to just push women up against the fence and hold them there. She doesn't really go for takedowns. She doesn't really do the dirty boxing. All she really does is just hold people against the fence and just kind of ekes out decisions, which is just like infinitely boring. So I'm hoping Aldana will be able to kind of control the fight and not let Holly Holm make it boring, considering it is a 5-round fight. The co-main event is Jermaine Durandamy is back against Pena. That should be a good one for bantamweight. Pena, I don't know, has she fought? Maybe she's fought once. Seems like Pena's been out forever. But Jermaine Durandamy is great. Pena, I'm a fan of both of them, so it would be interesting to see how that one goes. Who else is here? Carlos Condit's back against Court McGee. That's a pretty good fight. Court McGee, kind of one of those journeyman. I guess he's a journeyman fighter. He's never really gone on any kind of run to kind of make a shot for the title. even though I'm a fan of Court McGee. Carlos Condit, kind of the over-the-hill fighter, maybe has a few fights left in him. So that could be an interesting fight. But yeah, overall, should be fun. Should be a fun night of fights next week from Fight Island. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, Holly Holm doesn't do what I'm predicting she's going to do. Make sure you support this show by signing up for our Patreon over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. That's where you can binge the full week of the Ray Taylor Show without any ads. You can also save a ton of money with a coupon code for all of my paintings that I sell, and you can download the raw Photoshop files for all the Photoshops I do. It's only $3 a month, so sign up now over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder and get all those benefits and help me out at the same time. Make sure you sign up for Kindle Unlimited. Go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Kindle. That's unlimited reading and listening through all of your devices when you sign up now for Kindle Unlimited. Go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Kindle, and get your free trial now. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com, and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!